What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the SNS show. If you like what you're hearing, hit that like, share, and subscribe. Today, we will be hitting you with our Week 5 studs and duds, as well as Week 6 streamers. The bye weeks are
Let's
upon
go,
us,
man.
so it's time to tune in a little more. What do you got for studs as far as Week 5?
I mean, for the studs, let's go ahead and talk about the quarterbacks, man. Just it's pretty obvious, man. Josh Allen went crazy. I'm talking about it was he put that game away before the game even got started, man. 424 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 rushes, 42 yards on the ground, and he could have did a lot more damage, but I think he just let up on him a little bit, man. But definitely, if anybody had Josh Allen in that lineup, man, he went crazy, obviously. But that's just Josh Allen. What I mean, to talk about the running back position, man, listen, man, Austin Eckler is finally back. It's been 2 weeks in a row. He's finding the end zone now. And this week, 16 touches, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 catches, 26 yards. Listen, man, he's definitely trending up, and he's going to continue to do so, man. I think it's just dope seeing him finally back, getting incorporated, finding the end zone. And, man, he looks good, man, balling out. For the receiver position, I have to speak on Gabe Davis, right? So last week, I know we was talking about the duds, right? This was one of my duds last week, and I was just saying, like, he's not getting the targets, but he's very touchdown dependent, right? But this game, obviously, 6 targets, but out of those 6 targets, 3 receptions, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 bombs, man. Just to go ahead and break the game away before it even got started, man. So Gabe Davis, like we said, touchdown dependent, but when he gets touchdowns and this the form that you're going to get, this is a guy who can explode like this, and this is the type of game you can expect when he does so. At the tight end position, it's another obvious one. Travis Kelce went absolute crazy, man. And, it's kind of weird, right? When you think about it, I'm looking back, I'm like, 25 yards, man. How do you have 7 receptions for 25 yards? But, hey, listen, this man was just, speaking of touchdowns, he was just living in the end zone, getting 4 tubs. So it looks like he didn't even need to do too much. All it was when he called his number, man, he was making plays. So, man, shout out to Kelce this week. Just an extra guy I want to speak on, Taysom Hill. So it's crazy, right? This is like a freaking cheat code. You never know when he has these games, but when he has them, man, this is the type of output you can expect, man. 22 passing yards, right? Like, all right, whatever. Nothing to sneeze at, but he gets you a touchdown passing the ball. Then you get 9 rushing yards, 9 rushing attempts. I'm sorry, 112 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. And even this game, he didn't even catch the ball. So it's like you never know what you're going to get, man. But to go ahead and put up 4 touchdowns, man, hey, look, I don't know how many people played him, but listen, Taysom Hill, when he does these things, man, it's a cheat code, man, because the man is a unicorn when it comes to this football stuff, man. So shout out him this week.
Before I switch over to my studs, I do want to mention, I know we talked about it before, that Kelsey called his shot before the Monday night game and said, I tell Raider fans all the time, I love them. I love seeing them because I know I'm going to get a dub and 200 yards. He didn't get the 200 yards, but he got 4 tubs.
Hey, 4 tubs. What?
All right, so over at the quarterback position, I got Kirk Cousins sitting at quarterback 12 on the year quietly.
Okay.
Guy that I benched over the weekend. We'll get into that here in a minute. 296, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and then 1 rushing touchdown. Nick Chubb is my running back stud for the week. And I picked him this week. He's the running back 2 on the year. And it's just kind of odd because it's a running back that was very avoided, especially in best ball due to his lack of passing down work. But especially in PPR formats, he was avoided. So it is just cool to see him at sitting there at running back 2 on the year through week 5. Hollywood
Absolutely.
Brown over at wide receiver. There's a chance that this is short-lived with the D-Hop return coming around the corner. But as it stands, he is the wide receiver 6 on the season. And he's got 3 straight weeks with 10-plus targets and 20-plus points. Taysom Hill, I dropped him in fantasy. Somebody I was super high on in best ball all year. And he just didn't get any love around redraft season. But I did pick him up after week 1 when he scored. Played him 2 weeks in a row. He did nothing for me. He's just too big of a boom or bust guy, I think, to have in your redraft lineups, but he is still a fun play in DFS. Kamara is my flex on the week. He moved up to running back 45. He finally took on a full workload after the rib injury. and produced 23.4 PPR points. However, as good as that is, he did not score, and we still don't know what that'll look like with the return of Jameis Winston. So keep that on your radar. Switching over to duds. What do you got in your pocket for that one?
For the duds, straight to quarterback position, we'll start out there. Jared Goff, man, 229 passing yards, an interception, fumble loss. He only put up 5.86 points this week. And listen, the same could be said for multiple people. Obviously, as I get further into this, it didn't matter, man. They got a complete shutout over there in New England. He couldn't do much. We'll see how it looks in the upcoming weeks. Number one offense, nothing. You know what I mean? So
They got
not good over
Belichick.
there at the quarterback position for Jared Goff. Yeah. That's what happened. You go up in Foxborough, you thinking everything's sweet. Hey, you get humbled. So yeah. And at the running back position, Najee Harris, right? 20 yards on 11 carries. He did have 3 receptions for 16 yards, but it just seems like it's nowhere to run. He doesn't have a burst. It's starting to make me kind of just wonder, all the reports that came out prior to the season, like was he injured? Was he not? I'm starting to wonder if he's injured, but I know right now, man, it's looking like a complete bust. This is a guy I'm not even comfortable playing any week for right now, and it's just it just seems like the upside isn't even there. And to be honest, I don't even like the floor at this point. So not a dub for me. At the wide receiver position, Jalen Waddle. So he had 3 targets, 3 receptions, 23 yards, but it's been absolutely downhill since Tua left. We don't know how long Tua will be out. What would that look like if you had the backup quarterback, was it Teddy Bridgewater in there? What that would look like, we don't know, right? But I just want to say when he did come in the game, it didn't look good. Backup quarterback in there, it's not looking good. So until Tua get back, can we trust Jalen Waddle? That's something I want to know. But right now, it's not looking so good. Now, at the tight end position, TJ Hawkinson, right? So when I talked about that New England-Detroit game, I'm talking about shutouts, right? Now, I could put St. Brown in here too, right? But I gave him the benefit of the doubt because I know he was coming off the injury and everything like that. So I'll spare him this week. But Hawkinson, man, 4 targets, 1 reception, 6 yards, did absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? So maybe, I don't know. I know when Brown was out, he was able to make plays with him back. I don't know. Hawkinson didn't show up, man. 1.6 PPR points on the week, man. Absolutely terrible, especially if you put this guy in your lineup, man. That's a dud. Now with the flex position, right? I want to talk about not even flex. Let me just talk about an extra guy here. Antonio Gibson, right? He did have 6.9 PPR points, but 3 attempts, 6 yards. The thing that stood out, he still had 4 targets, 3 receptions, 33 yards. But the main takeaway for me here and why he's absolutely a dud now and moving forward, right? He looks to have lost his job to Brian Robinson. He got out snapped. They didn't even really look to him to run the ball. And then when you think about if what you can expect from a receiving standpoint, this is a guy who still is going to split snaps with McKissick over there. So it just seems like Gibson, it just seems like he's fell out of favor over there in Washington. They said it before the season. As soon as Robinson was ready to go, back to the doghouse you go, man. So that's my duds for the week.
Before I switch over to my duds, I want to hit on Hawkinson. We talked before when he had his huge game about him being a sell high candidate. It's probably too late now if you didn't do that. You're going to be getting a lot more of this out of Hawkinson than what you got a couple weeks ago. Same with Gibson. I feel like Gibson was kind of just holding that job until Robinson came back. We all kind of knew Robinson was going to be the guy, I think. That coaching staff in Washington isn't married to Gibson, whereas they did pick out Robinson. Thanks. Switching over to my duds. Quarterback, I got double start, 0 Teddy Bridgewater. I accidentally started him in both redraft leagues after benching Kirk Cousins. And I was trying to flop it, but messed it up when I was doing it. So I got hit with 0s at quarterback this week. Lost both leagues, by the way. Aaron Jones, running back 13 on the year, 10 PPR points. It's tough to have any trust in Green Bay's offense right now. I expected more things to funnel through him with the loss of Devontae Adams, which is why I was comfortable taking him in the second round. And I just feel like it's not what I thought it would be. Speaking of the Lions, I do have Amon-Ra St. Brown as a dud this week, number 10 receiver on the year. I just think, and I don't try to put injured guys on here, by the way, even with Teddy B. I had to talk about that, though. I think they brought him back too early. They're going into a bye week this week. why not just let him rest another week, get the bye week off, get him back 100% week 7, hopefully. Over at tight end, I got Kittle, tight end 35 on the year. Third game back, and he still hasn't cracked over 8 points. But I do think he's stuck in a blocking role due to the injuries on that offensive line. Therefore, he hasn't been as involved in the passing game. So once Trent Williams makes his way back and they get a little healthier on the offensive side of the ball, I do think things will pick up for Kittle. He's still an elite talent. You're still holding Kittle if you have him. Lastly, I have Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke is running back 37 on the year, and he hasn't passed 15 PPR points yet. And it's really tough in this Cooper Rush-led offense to trust any Cowboy at this moment, including CeeDee Lamb, who some of you might have taken in the first round. Don't let go of your Cowboys, but just hang tight until Dak gets back to save the day.
I know Shaw's waiting for it. He praying.
Switching over.
He trying to get his money. Not
good. Switching over to my streamers for week 6. Quarterback position. Like we said, bye weeks are upon us now, so you are going to have to be more active on the waiver wire. At the quarterback position, I got Justin Fields, who's 26% owned. He's got 40-plus rushing yards in 3 straight games, and he's got a decent matchup against the Commanders. Commanders' defense is average. Like, it's just middle of the pack everywhere. Offensively, they're pretty terrible, so there is a chance they win the game. Positive game script maybe for Chicago finally. Benjamin over at running back, 6% owned. Only if Connors can't go do I like this play. But if Connor still has a tag leading up to game time, questionable or whatever, I think Eno's a comfortable play. Over at wide receiver, I'm expecting heavy fireworks against the Chiefs. And if you can just get any guy on the Buffalo offense, Isaiah McKenzie in the slot if he plays, or last week it was Khalil Shakir who went off. Either one of those guys, obviously McKenzie over Shakir, but it's going to depend on whether or not McKenzie plays. And my streamer at tight end is Taysom Hill. I don't love it. I hate it. But if he's there and you want to play the game, go for it. You're going to get 0 or 30 points. It's up to you if you want to get stuck in that trap. What are your streamers moving into week 6?
For the quarterback position, I'm rolling with Daniel Jones this week. So he's going against a not so great Ravens defense. They played better against the Bengals, but I just truly believe Jones had plenty of opportunities to make some plays this week. You could bind that with a player who has some huge rushing upside. I think Jones could be up for a very productive day at MetLife, man. So definitely just kind of, if like I said, if you want a sneaky play, man, don't be surprised if you get in the end zones a couple times, may use his feet or whatever. I think he could be up for a sneak week. At the running back position, Kenneth Walker. So we did see Rashad Penny go out for the season, and he's the guy that should take over this starting role. And he's also a guy with big play potential. Like, we've seen a 67-yard touchdown. He showed flashes, and he showed flashes against a tough Saints defense. So I think moving forward and starting this week, I think this is a guy you want to go ahead and toss in your lineup, and he should go get you some good output this week.
Do you care if I hop in real quick?
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
Kenneth Walker, in my opinion, and I didn't put him here. Maybe he wasn't available in the league I was looking at. If he is available, that's like the type of league-winning move that you guys have been waiting for all year. You're sitting there holding on to like a Madison and a Pollard waiting on an injury.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those injuries where Kenneth Walker should take over an RB1 role, and if you can get him off waivers, you could set yourself up very nicely. So don't be afraid to bid about $25 on that or whatever, and Fab, do your thing. Obviously, if your roster needs it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No. I love it. Hey, listen, don't be giving anybody my moves, man. You know I'm trying to.
No, I know you got
trying to bid against me, bro. You trying to bid?
Not yet. I don't want that.
So I got to spend 25.
Hey, I'm just saying, 25 is going somewhere.
I ain't gonna tell you what I put up there, but we'll talk about it. But at the wide receiver position, listen, a guy I truly love, man, Rondale Moore, finally getting healthy. 7 catches on 8 targets for 68 yards. But listen, this is an explosive player, right? Not only does he get the targets, he also gets the opportunities running the ball. And as I spoke about in the past, like, Kyler Murray loves his slot receivers. And hey, what else do you want, man? He played the Seahawks this week. It's another favorable matchup. This is a guy who, he's waiting for that one game, and don't be surprised if it's this week. Now, with the tight end position, Who else, man? I'm gonna go ahead and touch on it too. Taysom Hill, right? After a performance like that, I'm sure he gave his offense coordinator a lot of thoughts, a lot of things to try to figure out going into this next week, man. With the offense that needs a spark. And let's be honest, Dalton don't look so great. Wouldn't be surprised to see him more incorporated into the game plan moving forward. Whether it's some more throws at quarterback, finally getting some at the tight end position, running the ball, read option, whatever. I'm sure he's looking at that last game plan from last week and seeing how he can go ahead and double up on that. And I think this week, like we say, it's boom or bust. But after putting up that performance, what do you know, man? Maybe this week he'll keep it rolling and maybe put up a nice stat line this week coming up.